Hello all. Now I am going to explain about rotor resistance control in induction motor. As we all familiar with induction motor is an asynchronous motor in which the electric current in the rotor is needed to produce torque, which is obtained by electromagnetic induction from the magnetic field of the stator winding. An induction motor can therefore be made without electrical connections between the rotor and stator. So, induction motor are of two types on the basis of construction. One is slip ring induction motor and the other is squirrel cage induction motor. Now we are going to see about slip ring induction motor, which is also commonly known as wound rotor motor. A slip ring induction motor is a type of induction motor where the rotor windings are connected through slip rings to external resistances. Our topic, rotor resistance control, is mainly dealt with slip ring induction motor. This picture shows the internal configurations of slip ring induction rotor. This is the rotor windings, which is in star configuration, and this shows the shaft in which the slip rings are attached to it. These are all the slip rings, and through the slip rings some external resistance is also connected. These external resistances are connected in series with the rotating windings. This slide shows the major differences between squirrel cage and slip ring induction motor. The main difference between the squirrel cage and slip ring induction motor is their rotor windings. However, the squirrel cage induction motor and slip ring induction motor has the same stator configurations, whereas in squirrel cage induction motor, just the copper bars are insulated and act as the windings, whereas in wound rotor motor actually the coils are insulated over the rotor, and the rotors and external resistances are delta connected in wound rotor motor. And in wound rotor motor, actually the coils are insulated in the rotor and through which external resistances are connected to those coils. So this is the reason why the rotor resistance control, which is a speed control technique, is particularly applied only in slip ring induction motor, since it has an external resistances which can be varied to study about torque control characteristics and speed control characteristics, which configuration is not possible in squirrel cage induction motor. These are all the speed control techniques of induction motor, in which we are going to see about rotor resistance technique, which comes under slip control technique. The principle of rotor resistance control method. So in a slip ring induction motor, as we all know, it has some external resistances. A three-phase variable resistor can be inserted in the rotor circuit. By varying that rotor circuit resistance R2, the motor torque can be controlled. Based on the controlling of the torque, the speed can also be controlled. So this is the main principle behind it. As the rotor resistance method involves conventional method and static method. Now let's look into the conventional method. The conventional method involves, as we all know, that torque is directly proportional to slip. S implies slip, and inversely proportional to the resistance, external resistance R2, and we all know the slip formula. So if we are, as we know that the principle is, we are going to vary the resistance. So if we increase the resistance, the torque gets decreased since they are inversely proportional. And in order to make the torque constant, we are going to increase the slip. So if we increase the slip, the torque also increases. So a mutual relationship is made between these connections. So the torque is made constant by decreasing the resistance and increasing the slip. Thus a constant torque is made. This conventional method for variation of rotor resistance is done by inserting a variable rheostat in series with the three-phase winding of the motor. As we have seen that the slip gets increased, so which implies the speed also get increased. Thus, the speed is controlled based on this resistance. And this graph shows the relationship between the torque and the slip. So, the maximum torque is obtained at the initial stages. These are all the various resistance ranges, which implies R1 is greater than R2 and R2 is greater than R3, and this shows the starting torque conditions. Though the conventional method is useful, it faces many disadvantages. So few of them are listed here, and the rheostat, which is used to vary the resistance per phase, causes unbalancing in rotor, and the resistances generate huge losses and generate heat in the system. In case of a large machine, the size of the rheostat will also be large and it cannot be affordable, and it requires more maintenance, hence the cost associated with it is more. This method cannot be used for industrial automation purposes, as we have to change manually the value of the resistances frequently. So these are all the demerits. To overcome this, we are going towards the static method. The variation of rotor resistance, which can be done by using power electronic devices, and this is more efficient method. So here we can see that the resistance can be varied by connecting the diode rectifiers and in series with an inductance LD, and which is finally connected with a transistor switch. And these inductance is used to smoothen the current. As the RMS value of the current has become root 2 by 3 into ID, and the resistance between the terminals A and B will be 0 when the transistor is on, and it will be OR when the transistor is off. Therefore, the average value of the resistance becomes this value, and the delta shown here is the duty ratio of the transistor, and the electrical power consumed by the resistor per phase is given by this formula, that is P is equal to I square R, and this equation suggests that the rotor circuit resistance per phase is increased by 0.5 into 1 minus delta into R. Merits of the following method, that is the static control method, that is the smooth variation of rotor resistance and quick response of the system, and the rotor resistance unbalance which is found in the conventional method, which is caused because of the rheostat, is overcome by using that power electronics devices. This diagram shows the quick recap of the static control method, which shows the pulse width modulator generator and the driver circuit, which can be either a chopper or a rectifier or a controller, and the final regulating transistor, which acts as a switch. Based on this, which decides that the resistance should be varied or not. When it is on, the resistor is when the switch is on, the resistor varies, and off it does not varies. This shows the overall demerits of the rotor resistance control system. In this method, as the resistance increases, the speed is varied, and it is varied in terms of which goes below the rated speed. So this can be used in a device with low speed regulation systems, and it also produces reduced efficiency since it works under low speed, and the speed changes vary widely with load variations too. The closed-loop speed control of induction motor employs inner slip speed loop with a slip limiter and outer speed loop. Since for a given current, the slip speed has a fixed value, and the slip speed loop also functions as an inner current loop. So the speed torque curve between the synchronous speed and the speed at the maximum torque for all frequencies, ensuring high torque to current ratio. The drive uses, as we already said, as a PWM inverter fed from a DC source, which has a capability of regenerative braking and 4-quadrant operation. In case if an error is occurred, the speed error is processed through a PI controller and a slip regulator, which is used to get a good steady state accuracy and which attenuates noise. The reference signal for the closed-loop speed control of induction motor drives of the machine terminal voltage is generated from frequency F using a function generator. It ensures nearly a constant flux operation up to based speed and the operation at a constant terminal voltage. This slide shows a quick recap among that the conventional method and the static method and the closed loop control speed method. Thank you.